welcome back to the show. Annalise Warren here. Oh my gosh, I am so excited, and I have a bit of a different way of setting things up today. So we'll see how this works. I'm trying to do video and audio, but all of my notes for this episode are actually written with by hand on my iPad. So I might be looking down a lot. Anyway, you get what you get. The content is, I'm really excited. So let's just dive right in, because I know that so many of us, so many people that I get the chance to speak to, talk to me about strategy, and they get stuck on strategy if things aren't working. And we think that we need sometimes a whole new strategy, and often it's actually not what we need. Often we're not even analyzing the right things to be able to make the right decision, or even know whether what we're doing is working or not, whether to totally throw it in the bin or completely do something new. So maybe even we haven't fully implemented the strategy, and that's the problem. But there's lots of different reasons why something might not be working, and you might have heard the saying mindset before mechanics before, and it is mindset before mechanics, totally true, but I also think there's more to it. So today we're going to dive into the 4 M's that you need as a freelancer or an agency owner looking to scale. And yes, this is applicable to everyone outside being a freelancer or agency owner. This is about being a CEO. And when I initially heard the whole mindset before mechanics thing, I was like, yeah, but what do I need to do? And more, I know that this is the truth. So the first M out of the 4, yes, is mindset. Now, this determines everything, right? Like, this is completely and utterly everything. If your mindset is one where you're not good enough, then you are not going to charge enough, or you won't even start. If your mindset is that of a freelancer, then you are automatically going to cap your income. On the flip side, if your mindset is strong and you know that you're capable and you're confident in your skills and you know your value, then you are going to pitch yourself differently, and you are going to charge differently. You're going to hire differently. You're going to budget differently. Are you getting the point? So when I say it affects everything, I really do mean it. And I think in your heart, you know it. So how can we shift and build on our mindset? Because we throw it around a lot, but what does it actually mean? What does it mean to look after it? And all of this, as with everything, starts with being aware. And your mindset is going to be influenced by what you feed your mind, right? What we feed our bodies influences our physical health. We feed junk, we feel like crap. Same with our minds. What we input on a regular basis matters. So what are we watching? What are we reading? Who are we listening to? Who are we hanging around? Because I truly do believe that saying that we are the sum of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. And, you know, aspects of that are definitely true. I notice that when I'm around certain people, I'm funnier. When I'm around certain people, I'm lazier. When I'm around certain people, I swear more. Like, there's something to that we are our environment. And so those things are so important. And if you're not feeding your mind positive things, if you're not feeding yourself and hanging around people with big, beautiful goals, then you're going to be thinking like the people that you're hanging around. So who is it that you want to be hanging around? Now, the next one is number 2, and this is magnetism. And this is the energy that you exude, right? Your presence that you have, the frequency that you're at. And yes, it matters. I think this matters more than kind of anything, and it's going to be supported by our mindset, but you can have the exact same messaging, the exact same funnel, the exact same offer as somebody else, and the one who has the magnetism is going to win every single time. And I just kind of not cringe. I just deflate a little when I see women on social media who I know are powerful, incredible women who have so much to give, come on their socials and I'm doing that, like this low energy. It's the opposite. They're going to attract low energy, right? So it's the complete opposite of what I know they're capable of. It's the complete opposite of what they want. But often we're just like, life can kind of get the better of us and we just follow the masses. And the masses are grey. The masses are grey. And you are not the masses. You are here, you are listening to this. You are bright, shiny, sparkly, multicolored, amazing. And let's show some of that to the world, right? And I've been wrestling with this, I've been thinking a lot about this year, because we've been rebranding Agency Academy. And so it's been really front of mind for me. How do I want to show up? What facets of my personality do I want to show? Who do I want to be online? How do I want to be perceived? How do I want to be felt? How do I want to be spoken about when I'm not in the room? And all of that is the energy, the frequency, the magnetism. And so often we cannot really connect with that, and we can just go through the motions and be like, okay, I'm doing this social media post and I'm nervous about it and la la la. And we don't bring the magic that we actually bring to our clients. And as people, we want to elevate our frequency. Subconsciously, that's what we want, right? We want to increase our status. And so we want to hang around people that exude more energy. So let's be that. So how do we then do that in a way that is not really fake or put on or performative? And yes, I always think there's an element of that, and I don't actually think that that's a bad thing, right? Sometimes we just have to, there's lots of situations where we don't maybe feel the part and we have to just fake it till we make it. And so people cringe at that saying, and I love it because it got me to where I am. And I don't think that it's a long-term sustainable thing, but sometimes you have to fake it to get the result to then actually be confident. And I think sometimes it's the same as this. It's the same in this capacity in terms of how we show up in our business. Because if I then relied on my feelings for everything, then I wouldn't have the life that I want. If I listened to my feelings about going to the gym, then I wouldn't go. But if I fake it, that I'm like, we're going, then I'm there. So how do we actually, though, build this in so that we don't have this fake high energy vibe? Because also as women, we have these really high BS meters and we know what's fake and what's not, and we're not going to be attracted to fake. So there's an element, I think, to get that spark across the line with the fake it. But how do we actually embed this and embody the energy that we want to embody? So I had a bit of a Google and a bit of a ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was telling me that magnetism is rooted, truthful, self-possessed energy that does not chase, I don't know what that word says, or perform, does not chase or convert or perform, maybe, I don't know, does not chase or perform. And it's power without effort. So maybe that gives you a little bit of a visual around what I'm talking about here. But I think you know those women that are magnetic, that you like turn to when they walk into a room. And so how do we increase our magnetism? Again, we need to be aware, and then it becomes intentionality. We intentionally need to do the activities that give us that high energy, that build us up, that make us feel good at that cellular level. So this is things like looking after ourselves properly, right? Sleep and nutrition and hydration and movement. And then things that you love, like listening to music and going for walks on the beach and having sex and all of the things that give you vitality and energy. Those are the things that we need to commit to actually having in our lives to be able to maintain that magnetism and be able to feel that in our bodies and come back to that. And there's a practice that I was taught, I think it was Taki Moore who taught me this, so that we actually get present with this, is think about the 3 words that you want to exude on video or whatever capacity it is, right? In that meeting, online, in a workshop that you're running, whatever capacity that you're in online, and think about 3 words that describe you. And then feel into those words and come up with 1 word that you say before you hit go, before you walk on that stage, before you hit record. What is that 1 word? I think his word is magic, which for him triggers the 3 words that he's already come up with, and that feeling of being like 11 out of 10, so that you show up as your best self online. And it's not fake, because it comes rooted from your true self, who you are and who you want to be and who you want to serve and how you want to show up. But you're intentionally tapping into that in that moment so that you can be what you need to be for your people. So that's a potential exercise that you can do, and trust me, it definitely works. But if you're not sure on how to do this, for me, it comes back to thinking about being the most relaxed person in the room. And what does that mean to me? If I'm relaxed, then I'm confident, I'm capable, I'm not trying too hard. There's no striving, there's no drama, there's no stress. It's just completely confidently relaxed and capable and ready for whatever comes, and confident in the steps that you're taking, and completely detached from the timeline and the outcome. And I was talking about this with a girlfriend yesterday, how I've come to this new realization that our businesses are this divine partnership, and how it's our job to know the purpose and the North Star and where we're going, and it's our job to make those steps, but it's not our job to control the timeline or the outcome. Yes, we can set goals and parameters and expectations around it, but to not be attached to those things. Because when we're attached to timelines and outcome, 1, we don't control it, we control our actions. So that's our job, is to control the action and to walk in that faithfully and can walk in that consistently as our responsibility and our role in this divine partnership of our acting out our purpose through our business. But the rest of it is not up to us. And if we try and control it, then that's when we get that like stressed energy, and my whole body, when I say it, like my shoulders go up and I like clench inward a bit, because we're trying to control, like you're trying to grab onto this result and this thing. And that comes across as that having that scarcity mindset, and that's not attractive, that's not magnetic, that's the opposite of that. And so if we can be relaxed and confident and know that we're walking the path, we know where we're going, we're walking and we're taking the action, and trust that the timeline and the actual outcome will happen as it's meant to happen, then that gives us this purely different view on our business, where we are working, taking the structured like masculine version steps, masculine steps, but being totally in our feminine, because we're not trying to control the whole thing and be everything and be all of it. We're not trying to play God, right? That to me is the perfect vision of what I mean when I'm talking about magnetism. It's our energy that we bring to our business because we feel it, and this is the thing that so many women are missing, because we're just doing the steps and ticking the boxes, and we're not actually being ourselves and enjoying the process, and that comes through, and that means that people are less attracted to us, and that makes our business less successful, less magnetic. So let me just have a quick look here. The last thing I had is that energy is radiant and radiant is magnetic, which I truly believe. And magnetism is really all about presence. So we've got the mindset so that we show up differently, we make different decisions. And then as in mindset makes us do the masculine steps, right? But the magnetism's the other side. So if mindset is the activities that we do, it's the foundation, right? It's the foundation. And the magnetism is the flow of that, and how we're being the present moment. And then number three, the third M is mechanics. And this is the full masculine systems, like get stuff done, tick it off kind of stuff. This is the traditionally business aspect, and this is the 5 business systems, right? Marketing, sales, operations, finance and legal, and team. These are the 5 business systems that we have. And that's the masculine energy. This is the structure. This is where we decide on the North Star and the goals and the strategy to get it there. So once we know what our goal is, we reverse engineer it. What's the activity we need to do? The actual things that need to get done. And this is numbers based, and it's science, and it's predictable, and we can map out different aspects of our business and measure it and track and adjust. And this is very quantitative and precise. And there's nothing up for interpretation here. Like, we know, and it's easy to know when we're looking at the numbers if things are going well or they're static or they're not. And we need this, right? I'm a strategist. I love the numbers, and I am naturally more structured, and I want to know the data. I want to know the key metrics every week. I've done a whole episode on what those are. But more than this, we can use the numbers to determine exactly what is or what is not working. So coming back to what I said right at the start when we're talking about strategy, often women in particular work off a feeling. And if they're not seeing the outcome and the result, then they're going, it's not working, right? Even I have a client at the moment who for 3 months, their new offer isn't working, in that they're not getting the number of clients that they want to get or that they would expect. And she, last meeting, was ready to throw the whole thing in the bin, the whole thing, the offer, the sales event, like the launch event, and the sales process in between. So she does a live launch, a sales process, and then sells into this program. She was ready to throw the whole thing in the bin. And this happens a lot, right? When we're working with a new offer, often it can take multiple months of iterations to get there because there's multiple phases in this. And so we sat down, talked her off the ledge a little bit, and showed her the data. And what we can see is that actually the ads for the launch event are amazing, like off the charts results, which shows us that in that instance, that messaging is really landing, and she's getting registrations for this event for less than $5. People are showing up at more than 30%, which is the benchmark. So again, we need to know the data and know what the benchmarks are to be able to make decisions. But that's working really well. So show up for day 1 is awesome. And after that, things come off the tracks a little bit. The numbers aren't where we want them to be. The amount of sales calls she's getting isn't the right amount in terms of benchmark from the numbers that are registered and the numbers that are showing up, and the number of sales, again, is matching that. Actually, the number of sales for sales calls, that process is working really well, but the gap between registering for the event and booking sales calls is really where the problem is. Also, a lot of the people who are saying no because of price for this high ticket offer, which is around about 5K. So, knowing all of this, we know now that the messaging for the ads is great. So how do we continue to pull that through so that people see value in the launch event? And maybe they're not showing up for multiple days because of the type of women that she's targeting, right? She's targeting really busy, high achieving women who probably can't carve out an hour a day to come to this thing. And so looking at potentially changing the model of the launch event, not throwing the whole thing in the bin, but maybe moving from a multi-day to a single day or multi-day to 2-day. So that's what we're exploring, different models there, knowing too, we have to experiment. So we will speak to people, look at the data, and then make our best decision on that. But still we have to take it to market to get the final result. And then on the other side, with sales, if it's more expensive than they thought it was going to be, well, one, that's totally fine. We could have a downsell on the back end. But also, how do we then instill the value and again, take that messaging from the ads that's working so well and really connect that problem that they noticed in themselves to the promise of the program? Because if that's what's attracting them, that's what they want, then that's what they want the whole way through. So how are we really serving them in the offer? And how do we highlight the parts of the offer that actually speak to that specific problem that we led with in the ads? All of that to say, the data and the mechanics matter and we need it, right? But it's only one piece of the puzzle. So yes, you need to know, and I think marketers are really brilliant at this. Like we know, right? We know that we're going to make our best guess based on all of our knowledge and experience. And then actually it's up to market. And sometimes things really surprise us, especially as ad buyers, like media ad buyers. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's the truth is in the numbers. We can't really predict it. And maybe what we would have chosen isn't actually the thing that works the best. And it doesn't matter. So we're kind of less attached to that if you're an experienced marketer. But most other business women are not thinking from that lens. So hopefully this example can show you a little bit about why we can't just go off feeling it's not working, like try something else. Which also I think speaks to us as humans and where we're at right now in society, going like, oh, shiny object thing, and I want that dopamine hit, and then that wears off and I'm not getting that hit anymore, and like, oh, next shiny object, and it's this like hamster wheel that we're on, chasing the shiny object, it not performing as well as we wanted. Well, look at the next thing that this person's doing and seeing great results. And I know so many of us, especially if you've been around a while, have fallen into that trap. Oh, maybe this coach, oh, that webinar, oh, this course, oh, this, this offer, this type, oh, she's killing it with webinars. Like there's always going to be that. And stepping back into that relaxed energy, shoulders back, deep breath, knowing where we're going and what the truth is for us, and then using the numbers to make informed decisions from that energy and that lens, and knowing the timing and the outcomes are not up to us. Our job is just read the data, do the next step, read the data, do the next step, and trust that it's all going to come together because we're doing the right actions. But letting go of the timeline. Letting go of the timeline. I have this conversation all the time. And it's really hard to do because we're planners and we're doers and we want to know and we're really great at what we do. And I know for me, like recovering control freak, I want to control, but it doesn't serve me, and I'm not the best version of myself when I am in that scarcity, control, tight energy, and that I enjoy being with myself, and other people enjoy me much more when I come from that relaxed, confident, capable, trust energy. So the more we can do to be there, the better. All right, number four, the last M is momentum. Now, this is a few things. Number one, it relates to the mechanics piece because we want to create an ecosystem that feeds itself, right? It's like a full flywheel. It's compounding. It's self-sustaining. And I think that sometimes I think about this as like a snowball rolling down a hill that's just getting bigger and bigger. Because at the start of business, it can feel like we're stomping up this snowy, cold, rainy, windy hill, pushing this snowball up the hill like with a toddler on our back and the wind in our face, and it's hard going. Honestly, sometimes that's starting the business when you're trying to figure out, is this offer working? Is this working? There's so many levers to pull, so many things that potentially aren't working, so many things that come into the picture and decisions to be made, and we're pushing and we're pushing and we're pushing and we're walking up this hill, and it's hard work. And then there becomes a point where you reach the top of the mountain and you stop pushing and the snowball rolls down the hill and it has momentum. And that's the point that we want to get to, and we are intentional about building that into what we're doing. So thinking about that in terms of how we're building in recurring revenue, how is what we're doing in terms of visibility self-sustaining and feeding itself? What ads are we running that are helping things go on evergreen? How are we repurposing things? So that helps with leverage. Like, how are we leveraging what we've already done and what we're already doing to get the best result? All of that contributes to scale. And the momentum piece is when things then work and move on without you, especially as a freelancer or agency owner. You want to at some point remove yourself from the day-to-day. If you want more profit and you don't want to work more hours, then you can't then continue to say yes to more clients. That just is mutually exclusive. It doesn't work. So how are you building these things into your business now? Yes, with mechanics, but from that mindset and magnetism energy that are going to continue to serve you in the future. So yes, like I said, recurring revenue. How are we building it in? When we're thinking about the business model, how are we bringing the right people in to help us get momentum and do some of the things that we're doing? I have clients that haven't produced new content in almost 12 months because they don't need to, because they've done these for years. They have all of these content banks and they've got their IP and all of that set. And now that these people combined with AI mean that everything gets repurposed and they don't have to continue to perform and nurture their audience. It's all about being visible now for them, and that is their role. Their role is on camera to new audiences. And so there's lots of different ways you can build this in depending on your business model, but knowing that momentum is really how we scale. Really, we do these other pieces and we build this in, we build momentum in for the point where we can let go of that snowball and watch it roll down the mountain and can have our business run without us running everything and having our hands in everything. So that is the 4 M's, and that is how we use this mindset and we use this magnetism to scale rather than just strategy. So I hope that this gives you a new perspective on your business. I hope that this gives you a sense of ease and freedom and permission that you didn't need to say yes to the things that are energizing, and saying yes to yourself to give you maybe some white space to get back to that embodied woman, to connect back with your relaxed, capable, confident energy, and figuring out exactly what it is that you need to have that scaffolding of your mindset and to really be the woman and the CEO that you want to be in your business to get the results that you want. Because it's not just mechanics and it's not just mindset. There's this whole other piece that really is going to help us achieve what we want to achieve in our business and our life. So I hope this framework helped you. I would love to hear from you. As always, I would love to hear from you. I'm over on Instagram. It's pretty much the only place you're going to find me. So come send me a voice message and say hi. Let me know what you resonated with. Can't wait to talk again. See you on the next one.